At 3:22 a.m. in the Black Sea, a Russian M-class corvette, the Veliky Ustyug, cuts through the waves. It's a $90 million projection of naval power, bristling with caliber cruise missiles and advanced CIWS defense systems. Its crew, confident and alert, scans the horizon for threats. They are looking for high-speed drones, for incoming missiles, for enemy ships. They are looking for a fight. They are not looking for a fishing net. And in that simple, arrogant oversight, their fate was sealed. One question: how do you defeat a state-of-the-art warship designed to fight a modern war? Spoiler: you don't fight its war. You fight a different one. A smarter one. In this breakdown, you'll see how a $300 fishing net became the most effective anti-ship weapon of the 21st century. Why the Corvette's multi-million-dollar defenses were completely useless. The brilliant 13-second sequence that turned a warship into a wreck. This isn't just a battle. It's a masterclass in psychological warfare. Subscribe for the kind of frontline analysis you won't get anywhere else. The M Corvette is a cornerstone of Russia's Black Sea Fleet. It's fast, agile, and packed with offensive power. But like all modern warships, it has a critical weakness: its propellers and water jet intakes. They are the ship's heart, but they are also its Achilles heel. They are powerful, but they are vulnerable to one of the sea's most mundane objects: debris. Ukraine didn't have a navy to challenge this ship head-on. So, they didn't try. They developed a plan based on a brutal, simple truth: you don't need to sink a shark if you can simply choke it. The plan was a two-part trap, a masterpiece of low-tech ingenuity. Part 1 was the net. Not a specialized military tool, but a heavy-duty, industrial-grade trawling net, the kind used by fishing vessels, reinforced with steel cables and weighing several tons. Total cost: maybe $300. It was attached to stealthy sea buoys and laid across a known Russian patrol route, submerged just a few feet below the surface. It was a nearly invisible spider's web, waiting patiently. Part 2 was the Wasp. A single, cheap FPV drone, armed with a small RPG warhead. Its job wasn't to sink the ship, but to deliver the sting once the giant was trapped. The trap was set. Now, all they had to do was wait. 4 hours, the Ukrainian operators watched via a distant reconnaissance drone as the Veliky Ustyug made its patrol. On the ship's bridge, the sonar operator would have seen nothing unusual. A submerged net has no acoustic signature. The radar operators, looking for fast-moving surface or air threats, would have seen nothing at all. The corvette sailed confidently at 20 knots, directly into the trap. The moment of contact was not violent. It was quiet. A sudden, ugly shudder deep within the ship. A high-pitched whine from the turbines as the propellers, spinning at hundreds of RPM, became entangled in the steel-reinforced net. On the bridge, chaos erupted. Alarms blared. Loss of propulsion. Starboard shaft is fouled. The ship, its momentum gone, lurched to a halt, dead in the water. The engines screamed, but the propellers were hopelessly snarled. The shark was choked. It was helpless. And this is when the final 13 seconds began. 13 seconds to impact. The Ukrainian operator, having waited for this exact moment, launches the Wasp. The tiny drone lifts from its hidden coastal position and screams across the water at over 100 miles per hour. 10 seconds. On the Russian warship, the crew is in a panic, trying to understand what has just happened to their engines. All attention is focused inward, on the mechanical failure. No one is looking for an external threat. 7 seconds. The Wasp drone is now inside the ship's final defensive perimeter. The AK-630 CWS, a terrifying wall of steel designed to shoot down missiles, is cold and silent. It isn't tracking any incoming threats because the drone is too small, too low, and no one has told it to look. 3 seconds. The drone's camera locks onto its target. Not the armored hull. Not the bridge. Its target is the exposed caliber cruise missile launch tubes on the deck. Impact. The drone's small RPG warhead detonates. It doesn't have the power to sink the ship. It doesn't need to. The explosion rips through the thin casing of the missile launch tubes. In a catastrophic chain reaction, the highly volatile rocket fuel inside the caliber missiles ignites. The result is a colossal fireball. A series of secondary explosions tear the deck apart, sending shrapnel and fire across the superstructure. The ship's primary armament, its entire purpose for being at sea, becomes the instrument of its own destruction. The physical damage was immense. The entire missile deck was a twisted, burning wreck. But the psychological damage was total. A $90 million warship, one of the prides of the Russian Navy, was not defeated in a noble battle. It was crippled by a fishing net and a hobbyist drone, in an attack that lasted just 13 seconds. This is the brutal math of modern asymmetric warfare. For the cost of a fishing net and a single drone, Ukraine didn't just neutralize a warship. It created a nightmare for every Russian captain in the Black Sea. Now every piece of floating debris, every shadow on the water, could be another trap. The open sea is no longer safe. If you think this kind of tactical brilliance deserves to be seen, smash that like button. Share this video to show the world how ingenuity is changing the face of war. And subscribe for more deep dive analyses of the tactics that are defining this conflict. Every view helps tell the story. Stand with Ukraine.